The stream is now live. Bienvenidos, campeones. Welcome to the first Churros official of the 25-26 La Liga season. I am Diego Logain, of course, the resident Barça fanatic, joined as always by Kiyan Sobani, the delusional Madridista. The summer is over. The Club World Cup embarrassments are as well. The transfers, well, we will have to wait and see if they have faded or not. But La Liga explodes onto the scene once again with an exciting match day one where Barça pick up a 3-0 controversial win over in San Moix. Sure, I can admit to that. Kiyan is here to break it down. A seething Madridista. Don't go anywhere. We'll get into it. That feels good. The intro out of the way, the formalities out of the way. I gotta say, Kiyan, I was a little bit nervous, like nervously excited for this one. I'm always, have the little bit of the jitters, the excitement bug within me. But this one being officially the first one of the now La Liga season 25-26, and the first one as well, where I'll be able to give my full undivided attention to this podcast. I'm excited for this, man. I said it on the Patreon podcast, of course, as well on Friday. For those of you who are missing out, we have been active throughout the summer months on patreon.com/Churros y Tacticas, where we've been discussing the transfers, the Club World Cup disasters, and then some. But this one, man, on the free, it's always special. And I think this season, we're going to be putting churros on the map, my friend.
I think I almost enjoyed it more when you were working for Barça, because that intro was way too unbiased. If you were still working for Barça, you would have had to pretend that Barça did not screw Mallorca. Everything is okay in La La Land. Your club is not corrupt. But I feel like now this season, we're going to kind of see you start to admit finally that you support a very evil institution. So I don't know. It kind of ruins the show if you're unbiased and objective.
I can switch real quick. Bang. There we go. Back to the La Liga days. Back to Viva La Liga days. I can switch. Well, yes, my friend. It is going to be an exciting season. Of course, match day one, this Barça game left nobody indifferent. It was a big win, an easy win. It was a win, Kiyan, that left me with a bad taste in my mouth due to the obvious reasons, and what should have been a festival, I think, of football, Spanish football, Barça football, flick football, turned very ugly very quickly. And while it was chaotic, Barça coming out strong with a nice cross performance from Lamine Yamal all around his cross, setting up Rafinha to kick things off where Barça left things in the previous season, which of course made them champion. Rafinha scoring, Lamine Yamal assisting, but then came that 2-0. And I guess, we might as well get into the thick of things here early on of this episode rather quickly, because it happened in the first half. It happened around it wasn't the half-hour mark exactly. It happened just before that.
Within 20 minutes, was it not?
Within 20 minutes, yes, exactly. Yeah. And it was, of course, where Raillo was, doing what he did as a defender. He managed to get his head to Lamine Yamal's shot, a curling shot that was on goal, cleared it, hit the floor. The ball ended up at eventually Ferran Torres's boots, who looked around, hesitated, as a lot of players were hesitating in that moment. But since the referee didn't blow the whistle, he didn't hesitate neither to eventually pull the trigger for the 2-0. And that's where, like I said, it left a bad taste in my mouth. We can get into, let me get your take before I expand on that, let's say, initial monologue here.
Well, just to clarify, it was actually, I perceived it to be earlier, but it wasn't. Morlanes's red card was in the 33rd minute.
It all happened afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, and Muriki's red card was in the 39th minute.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, And I don't know if this is a testament to maybe Mallorca responding a little bit better than I thought, or Barca maybe not playing as well or being as ruthless as I thought. But I thought at that point, I was like, this is going to end 8, 10, 12, 20, 50. I don't know. But I have to admit, I checked out at halftime. I just did other things. And I
I
didn't
get
watch
it.
it. And I was surprised to see that it was only 3-0 when I checked the score later. I was expecting something much, much more dramatic, but I don't mean I guess it's probably a little consolation to Mallorca anyway, but and to Barca's, I mean, with Barca it doesn't really matter. They're going to get the W regardless. So 3-0, 20-0 might not matter much apart from unless it comes down to some goal differential freak scenario at the end of the season, but
Mm.
I was expecting it to be much worse. I will give my quick run through of the events. I'm fine with the second yellow for uh, Mr. Manu Morlanes. I thought it was a bit inconsistent with Araujo not getting a yellow throughout the game. I don't know if Araujo eventually did pick one up or not, but I thought Araujo could have had at least a yellow. I thought the goal that stood that Ferran Torres scored, the strike was great. It was a really nice goal. If you and which obviously will not be talked about because every of what happened before it. Arasate said after the game that they were told before the season starts that if there is a head injury and if a player goes down, the play needs to be stopped immediately. And that's where I think we have to bring it back, and like that's what should have happened. And I think what was even more I guess jarring and more interesting was that Arasate said after the game that the fourth official on the sideline actually told the referee to stop the game when it happened. And the referee goes to put the whistle in his mouth, and then my interpretation was that he's like, "Hold on, let me see if Barca going to score here first." Okay, play on, and that's what happened. And then, of course, the big one, which I think was the icing on the cake, was Rafinha um, attempting
Yeah.
to break some knees and legs and walking away from it unscathed, which is something we've actually seen before. Rafinha getting away with red cards. So that's my take. I think may very well have been the case that Mallorca would have lost anyway. I think the Muriqi red card was the correct call. And certainly trying to do anything without Muriqi on the field is going to be very difficult because a lot of their game plan was going to be set pieces and him capitalizing on those set pieces with his headers. So doing it without Muriqi is going to be challenging. So that's what. Did you disagree with any of my takes?
I think it's pretty fair overall. Look, let me rewind the tape here a little bit and go back to Morlanes getting the second yellow for clipping Lamine Yamal from behind as he was approaching the 18-yard box. He had already picked up a yellow card for protesting before. So it was kind of reckless, if you will, behavior from the Mallorca player to make such a challenge in such a compromising situation. And I think the yellow card in that situation was the right call. Muriqi, who actually you pronounce it Murici. I had to double check that myself because I kept hearing Murici. I'm like, why are they saying Murici, not Muriqi? But the man from Kosovo, Google Translate, also pronounces it as Murici. Him picking up that straight red, which initially was a yellow card, was clearly a red card. You know, another reckless, violent, quite aggressive challenge with the boot very high that left Juan Garcia with a bruised, I think it was the right side of his face. You saw after the match, it was quite swollen there. Was unnecessary and again, reckless challenge, a dangerous one for that matter. So no debate. Now to the one that, of course, caused all the controversy here with Raillo getting, I don't want to say clobbered in the head because Lamine Yamal takes a shot from outside of the box. I can't say it was the most vicious, like the most powerful of shots. It wasn't a Roberto Carlos type of shot that hit him in the forehead. That he, of course, intentionally cleared as well. It wasn't like he was caught off guard. So the ref, you see him go down. He takes a step. He goes down. The ref takes a minute, as do other players, to kind of see, literally a split second, to see what is going on. He does take the whistle to his mouth, giving the intent, or the let's say the inclination, the idea that he might whistle, but he doesn't. So what are the players to do in a position like that? Well, you have to play on until the whistle is blown. Should he have done it? Should he have checked on Raillo to see if he was okay? Again, I'll be very open and honest here. In that moment, I was like, damn, check on the man. Like, when Ferran Torres scored the goal, I thought the goal would be would be disallowed. And I even thought afterwards, like, just give Mallorca their goal. Don't let this stand like this. It's not how I want to win. The guy got un balonazo in the forehead. Anybody that has played football knows that hurts like fucking crazy. Now, Raillo is an experienced, a veteran. I think he's, I checked, I think it was 33 years old. Was there more to that than meets the eye? And this was something that was discussed on the radio as once the goal was ruled legal and play continued. They were like, well, what if the referee here sets a standard that whenever a player clears a ball and goes down, you immediately, and you halt the game, you immediately stop the whole natural flow of the game. In other words, the defender wins. If any time a player goes down in the box or whenever, really, and the resolution is a drop ball outside of the 18-yard box and play continues, well, you're setting a precedent where it wouldn't be the first time where football players kind of take advantage and find a loophole, let's say, to kind of benefit plays their way. What is my final conclusion? I think Ferran Torres was fully in the right. He did what he had to do as a football player. He was presented with an opportunity to have a shot on goal. He scored a great goal. Am I going to be critical with the referee here? Well, in the moment I was, because I did expect the game to be stopped. But I understand the argument as well that says, what precedent are you setting if every time a player clears a ball and goes down, are we going to stop the game from continuing? Did you get what I'm saying here?
I do, but I honestly, my feeling on that is that while it's a valid concern, I think it's not going to happen. Like that loophole exists at any time. Anyone wants to do some shit hazard, they could literally just hold their head and fall down and pretend they have something.
Which we see, right?
I mean, now, like, I think it's more realistic that we see something like that in, let's say, a Champions League final, where like your team is getting back against the walls and you're trying to defend the lead. It's like the 85th minute and you want to just kill the momentum. I could see it happening, and certainly we see it happening, like in different ways, with players holding their leg or embellishing challenges and staying down for a long time. But in this particular case, I don't know if we would have to be worried about something like that happening a lot. This was in the 30. When did Ferran Torres score? Like in the 23rd minute. Mallorca are down. There's not really any benefit of him doing that in that situation, because he went down right away, like before Ferran Torres even got the ball. And it wasn't even a clear-cut chance, because again, it was a great strike from distance. So I don't think so. And look, I also just want to say, when someone asked us on the Patreon episode on Friday, which teams would you want to get relegated? And my three teams were send Barça all the way down to Segunda Z, send Atletico to Segunda Z, and send Valencia to Segunda Z. Mallorca actually was nearly my choice for one of them, those spots. I hate this team. Genuinely, unapologetically loathe, detest Mallorca. And
that's mainly because of one player, though.
But also Raio, who got hit in the head in this game, I have zero sympathy for that dude. Complete jackass. So for me to even sit here and defend anything about that team, other than Arasate, who I love, I really like Yagoba Arasate. I like players like Moriki too, but I just uh yeah. So I get both sides, but ultimately I think it comes down to the fourth official, according to Arasate, told the
Mhm.
referee to blow the whistle, and the referee puts the whistle in his mouth, and then he just decided not to blow it when Barca scored. And I
Mhm.
think the Rafinha red card is shocking to me, or non-red card. Um,
I'll
and I
give you
just have
that. Rafinha should have gotten a red card. That tackle was also a reckless one. I don't know if he slipped or not, but the fact is that he went in, pretty much two-legged, studs out, and yeah, should have picked up red for sure.
if this was so okay, so let me ask you this: if it was this complacency, or
Mm.
was this something
Yeah.
more?
No. Well, maybe it was pity. Look, I'll tell you what, after the reason why it left a sour taste in my mouth is not just the way that obviously those incidents that we have now discussed at some length, the red cards and the controversial goal of Ferran Torres, but also after that, it was just the game was done. It was a different. Barca dropped their intensity to 50%. Flick after the game was very critical as well. Said he didn't like the win whatsoever because his team just took it down a notch or two. Even it was Barca playing in second gear. Mm, what I always feel is like you have to keep up that intensity. Now, was it Barca showing pity? You have to say as well that the temperatures at the moment are, you know, hellish. It's 37, 38 degrees that feel even within the 40 degrees at this time with a lot of humidity. The game was played right now at this hour at 7:30 Central European time. So it's sure that plays a factor. Maybe a little bit of quote unquote sympathy had something to do with it as well. But you saw that right after as well. Mallorca had a chance to get the 2-1, and then it's a whole different game. I would have at least wanted to see this team show the respect to a Mallorca and finish it off with a third and a fourth and a fifth goal. Now you might say, show respect. How's that showing respect, right? You're playing against 9 men and you're completely demolishing them on their home ground after having suffered a loss under quite harsh circumstances. Well, I think that is actually showing respect because Mallorca could have gotten back into this game. It could have been 10 men against 9 with a 2-1 scoreline. And then let's see what happens. You know what I mean? With Mallorca playing on the counter attack, you don't know what's going to happen eventually. And that is something that just didn't sit well. It became a game that was more in line with the summer friendlies than match day one of La Liga Santander, where you're seeing the champions, the title holders, and hopefully repeat champions come out and make a statement. And yeah, again, I hear the arguments to say it's a long season, yada yada, but our next game isn't until next weekend. So it was not a pretty game, and it didn't leave a good taste in my mouth, quite frankly. No.
If it was Real Madrid instead
Mm.
of Barca, you would have made a 1 hour video by now, exposing, exposing everything. Just saying, just
It's a
saying.
long season, my friend.
It's a long
That
season,
video will come. That video will come.
but you remember. I remember last year at some point we said, why don't we just go game to game and just
Mm-hmm.
take it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is game one. So I don't know about the spreadsheet, but how do we record this? Do we just put one tick beside Barca for now?
Listen, I'm happy to keep your spreadsheet. It's something that I suggested last season or the season before that. It's something I've been crying out to do. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Let's record, the controversial calls. I'm happy to keep tabs. I'm happy to have the Churros community help me out with that. Hopefully, there will be some culés in there as well, keeping tabs. But, I think I've got that on lock. What do you want to call? Like, what is the controversy here besides the Rafinha red cards that definitely should have stood. And look, again, where do you side on this Ferran play? It's a hard one to call, in my opinion.
No, I mean I side with the fact that it should have been stopped, and it's
Yeah,
not.
you should, you wanted to see it stop.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I don't blame Barca for continuing to play. It's not their
Mm.
job; it's the referee's job. But that's what, and I don't know if you saw. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I just like, I don't know where I genuinely don't know where I side on this one. Like, do I? It's not the first time neither where we see a player fall down, stop playing because he's either unable to get up, the play continues, a goal is scored, and controversy arises. It's like, so every time now a player hits the floor because of a head, and mind you, I'm referring here to an exact example where Mendy takes out a Levante player, elbows him in the face. It's the counter attack. It leads the game is the 2018-19 season. I think it's Real Madrid Levante. They're playing at home. Mendy elbows one of the Levante players. He goes down. He's unable to continue. The play continues, however, and Asensio scores the 1-0 on the other end. If that continues, if these kind of scenarios play out every single time, don't you think it creates a dangerous precedent where every time a player that, or team rather, that is under pressure of clearly a more offensive, powerful team will see the opportunity to get like, I'll tell you what my point is, like, if they see the advantage of going down, having the play stopped, and getting a drop ball outside of the danger zone, then maybe that should come with a consequence. Meaning, if a player goes down because of a collision with the head, a ball, an elbow, whatever it might be, stop the play, get the player out immediately, and have him out for a specific period of time that allows the doctors to evaluate and be certain that he is okay to continue. I think that would erase any foul play, if you will, and players just going down for the sake of wasting time or for the sake of annulling and canceling an offensive play from the opposing team.
Well, we haven't seen. I like, correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't seen this problem. Like, we haven't seen this happen a lot to even consider it. Like, we haven't seen people go down after heading away crosses. In this case, he was shot at his head. So I'm sure he felt some pain, even if he was okay to go on.
It hurts. It fucking hurts. Like,
Yeah, it hurts and it goes down. And so
Yeah.
so for that reason, like,
Yeah.
again, this is not an issue where people are just heading away crosses and falling down. We haven't experienced this issue. Mallorca were also losing the game. They had no reason to waste time, and it wasn't a clear-cut goal scoring position. So
why do you hate Raio? Is he a conniving? Would you call him a conniving, cunning type of player?
I hate him because he's a thug, and he
likes to use the dark arts.
Like Batman and Robin with Maffeo and being just pieces of shit. They feed off each other's horrible nature of breaking legs and screaming at opponents and asking and being unapologetic with regards to how their fans behave. So I was gonna say something about this. Oh, I wanted to actually just share this really quickly, just because we need to track it, right? We're gonna tally this up.
You got something? There we go.
I got something. We're gonna tally this up at the end of the season, but here's where we're at now. Those of you who are watching on YouTube Live or YouTube in general can see. We have it, the official count. The official count. Where is it? Do you see it? There it is.
I see it. Okay.
That's the official count.
Okay.
It's on record.
It's on record. Now, what if? And again, I'll accept that. But what if you're challenging that? What if tomorrow against Osasuna, a Mastantuono plays when technically he shouldn't be directly playing for the first team because he's a registered B team player signed for the hefty signing fee of around 63 million, I believe to have read. And the rules state that a player that is signed for the filial, the B team, cannot or has to also play. So you can use a B team player for the A team, but if a player is signed for the with the intention and the license to play for the B team, he has to play for the B team before he gets to play for the first team.
Oh, interesting.
What happens then?
I don't know. See, I was gonna easily refute everything you just said because this is what we did with Vinicius and Rodrigo, and it's very common that you call up your B team players. That specific case, so you have to. I mean, that's completely news to me. So you're catching me off guard. I'm ignorant about it. If that's true, I honestly have to research it on the spot because I haven't heard that rule.
Sure. I guess my point is, I just threw out an example here, but where what you can challenge a decision. In this case, I agree. I might disagree in the next, or you might. So where do we stand on that for the counter?
My suggestion would be we would keep it to on-field referee stuff. Because otherwise, we're gonna every time there's like a registration issue or Barca, get away with some loophole somewhere, we're gonna have to add that too.
No, but not just that. But what if you disagree with my call? Like I'm like, that's a red card. That's not a penalty, and you're like, it is.
This is the challenge. I don't know what the tiebreaker is in that situation.
Unfortunately, we cannot rely on the very loyal and much appreciated Churros community because the vast majority of y'all, you're all Madridistas. So what if we give it to the AI agents, the Groks, the chats, GPTs,
but the AI just agrees with whatever you say as well. They're not objective either. I don't trust anybody except me and Florentino. That's it. I don't trust anybody else.
Oh my God.
Listen, I don't know. In the event that happens, I don't know. It's a good question, and this is part of the reason why I don't even know if we can keep track of it. Because I remember we disagreed on several interpretations of the calls in the past.
Oh,
I can think of the specific examples of when those happened as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to just be as objective as possible. Both of us have to keep that promise.
Or we keep separate counters. You have yours and I have mine, and we compare.
Well, then what's the point of that? Because then in the end, we'll still have no truth. We'll just have subjective realities. We live in our own worlds at that point.
Isn't that what the world is all about anyway?
Like, and I was gonna say have like a tiebreaker, like a vote on social media, but you can't trust those either. It's basically whoever has the bigger fan base or who sees it, whichever fan base sees it and gets their army to vote the most. You could even get bots to vote. So I don't trust that either. This is unfortunate, man. We can't even rely on society or humanity. What a dark day.
We will figure it out, my friend. We will figure it out one way or the other. But just to pick up a couple of other points here from the game, I think, Lamine Yamal won the Man of the Match award for good reason. Assist and a goal eventually. But I think throughout the game, I don't know if you mentioned you sort of saw it with one eye tuning in here and there. He had a very solid game all around, really, where also defensively, he had some good interceptions, as did Pedri for that matter. Ferran with the good finish, although opportunistic. Rashford, however, had his debut in the Barça shirt, played 22 minutes. For me, I'm expecting more. Not that I expected him to shine for the 22 minutes that he was on there, but he has a potential that I think was untapped in this game. He could have given more. I would have liked to have seen more. I don't know if it was the team dynamics and given the situation of the game that we didn't see that from the Englishman. De Jong bossing the midfield, Rafinha reliable as always. And, the Mallorca side that, of course, left with, angry. We heard Arrasate, you mentioned him. He's a coach that am very fond of as well since his days at Osasuna and other teams where I think he's shown that he is able to make a mid-table tier team punch above his weight. But he wasn't. His players, I would say, didn't give him the chance to do so on this occasion. So Flick expressed his discomfort, his annoyance, his high press. I think suffered given the game, the circumstances of the game as well. But let's, if you want, Kiyan, preview tomorrow's game for you. It's Osasuna at home. What are you expecting? Are you expecting high flying, Xabi Alonso ball? Is this a game that will be won easily? There's a lot of hype around Franco Mastantuono since his presentation and his signing, of course, as well. But I'm seeing the comparisons to Messi, to Lamine Yamal. Marca are not wasting any given opportunity to do so, even going so far to post a good goal. But yesterday's goal that he scored in practice was, Franco's first goal in a Madrid practice, and it looked a pretty standard goal. I guess my question is too much pressure being put upon this guy to already put him in the range of, say, a Messi and Messi is big words, but Lamine Yamal, is there kind of a desperation, if you will, amongst the Madridistas to put this young Argentine player with the best?
I don't know. There was just so much being thrown at me right there. My brain just broke for a second. People going crazy over Mastantuono's goal in training. It was just a regular goal. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
was it amazing goal? It looked like, a goal. I don't know. It was like the most viewed clip, and Marca was going crazy about it. They were
listen, like right now, the Mastantuono stuff is just like, it's going viral. Like, people are very excited about this guy. It's very similar to when we signed Goulier.
But that's my point.
Yeah,
it feels kind of desperate. There's like a desperation.
I don't know if it's desperation. I think it's just more when there's natural excitement. I don't even know if it's forced excitement, but there's natural excitement. And honestly, if it's the case where he's being quote unquote overhyped, Xabi Alonso doesn't help in that situation either, because he's raving about him in the press conferences, saying like, we're so impressed with what we've seen. He might get minutes tomorrow, and we have no doubt he is going to be special. He has zero fear, all this stuff. Also, him in his press conference himself, was saying a lot of the right things, including, I'm sure, as you would have liked to see that, his praise for Messi. Obviously, he wore number 30. He's wearing number 30. That was Messi's first number at Barça, I think, at some point. So I don't know what else to say. I'm personally, I'm excited about him as well. I think he's a really promising player. And I think he is really helpful in this situation if he can get going. And again, what I'm about to say really puts unnecessary expectations on him, maybe. But without Jude Bellingham, I think it's good to have another body who can kind of play that role, that 10/winger who can cut in. I think Goulier is not going to be playing that role because he's going to be playing deeper in midfield. So
they're going to be playing together, though. Or, I mean, again, it's like,
yeah, someone asked me recently, like, can they coexist? And I think they can, because I think Goulier will be naturally playing deeper. And if Mastantuono plays, he's going to be probably taking more of a Bellingham role in that situation. So there's we have more questions than answers. Truly. So I can just say that I'm personally very excited to see Real Madrid play football again. I'm not nervous about tomorrow. What I'm more nervous about is the big games. We have Atletico next month, who laid an egg on the weekend, but that's always going to be tough. We have Barça in October, the month after that. Those are the games I want to see Real Madrid improve in. I think that Real Madrid will improve in these games against Osasuna, and these games they're supposed to win, because in those games last year, as I told you last week, they were really poor. I think they'll be much better in those games, but I do want to see real tangible improvements in the big games. As it's funny, because I always say that teams that play a certain way, like Barça, it's the big games where you're worried about getting their high line exposed by competent teams. I have this now concern with Real Madrid now too, because of the way they play. Everyone is at the halfway line or even higher, so it's a very, very I don't know, dangerous is the right word.
Compared to flick ball.
Yeah, it is. It's comparable.
How what are the
It, I mean,
similarities, the
it's
differences?
it's it's a team that wants to hold at at the halfway line at the deepest. It's a team that wants to play the offside trap. It's a team that wants to win the ball back high up the pitch as soon as it gets it. It's a team that wants to control and keep possession and find openings and work it around until they do. And so that's Chabi's philosophy, and that's how he wants to get everyone buy in. It's much more collective. I don't know if it was you or someone else that was speaking about like why Vinicius has to adapt to this is that there's no more like getting the ball and trying to dribble two or three players. When he gets it, he has to be very quick. Xabi Alonso screaming on the sidelines, más rápido, switch it. So it's like it's more high octane.
Mm.
And again, I think it's just a completely different formula than what we've seen in the past few years with Real Madrid. And again, I'm not the kind of person who says only this works or only that works. I think you can win playing a variety of different ways. But I think the one weakness this will have is that teams who are really good in transition, who have elite wingers like Lamine Yamal or Kvaratskhelia or Doué or whoever, I don't know, just take your
Mm.
pick, Saka, just go down the list.
Mm.
These guys are going to be more able to expose that high line. So that's we're in that sense. I think it's kind of like the Barca conundrum of the last few years.
I'm really excited to see it, man. I'm really excited to see it. I mean, the reason why I mentioned this hype around the young Argentinian players, not because I disagree. I'm speaking out of mere ignorance here. I didn't know about this player before he got signed to Real Madrid, and
Yeah, we
I
knew
don't
very
know much
little
about him,
as well.
right? But now seeing the headlines, and again, I'm referring here to Marca. I'm quoting literal articles of theirs talking about a Maradonian and a Messian like goals that he has been scoring, and I'm
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
Jesus Christ, like this is big. Like this guy flew under my radar. I had no clue about him,
yeah,
and all of a sudden, it turns out that he is the next big Argentinian player
I
that
mean,
is gonna light up the league, I guess.
I'll put some perspective on it. The reason why he's hyped is also this: is that I mean, he just turned 18.
Hmm.
He was River's best player last season. There are only 4 players in Argentina football history who made a debut at the age of 16. One of them was Maradona. One of them was Massantuono.
Hmm.
The other two, I don't remember their names, but Messi was not one of them.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
assumed Messi would have been one of them, but he wasn't. They were 2 other guys, and um, like if you go by his YouTube reel, he's ridiculous. But again,
Sure.
we don't judge based on that. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason why he's very promising.
Mm.
Um, I was gonna say something else about this. Though I guess the funny thing to me is that by all reports and everyone reputable, everyone said that Xabi Alonso like really wanted him. He called him specifically. He wants to like start him right away. Which to me, when I read that stuff, I was like, that's crazy, guys. You don't know what Xabi Alonso wants at this stage. Like this is, I mean, he may also not come to that conclusion when he sees Massantuono up close. But then, like you hear, like who these, like where these reports are coming from. You listen to Xabi Alonso in the press conference this morning. It's like raving about this kid. So I don't even know if this is healthy expectations. But certainly, like it seems to me, and again, this is just what I'm observing. It seems to me that he's already ahead of Rodrigo in the pecking order. And
Wow.
and Xabi Alonso already stated that to this morning, and I don't know if this is going to be true or not, but that he's counting on Rodrigo next season. So take that for what you will. Anything can happen still before the transfer window closes. But I will say overall, yeah, I'm excited. I think the team will be fine without Bellingham, and then Bellingham will come back, and I think Bellingham is going to be, Bellingham. You're sick of me saying this, but I think Bellingham without the shoulder strap and fully healed will be a menace, and I'm excited about it. Again,
I don't disagree with you on that. I do
yeah.
agree with you on that. I just don't think that he's better than Pedri.
All right, that could be a whole podcast, but yeah. Well, I think it's one of those ones we just table for now and see how the season goes with both of
What time is kickoff tomorrow?
them. 9 p.m. CET.
9 p.m. Good old kickoff. Okay. Okay.
I
All
did.
right.
We moved on to Real Madrid pretty quick, but actually, there was something I wanted to say about the referees before we moved on to that from that subject.
Referees. Oh, dude, that's like a topic I
I
hardly
know,
ever
but it like
discuss.
moved
But
so
sure, sure,
quickly. It moved so quickly.
please.
It's more not less to do with Barca specifically and controversies, but more to do with just the state of refereeing in La Liga in general.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that we haven't found some kind of meritocracy system where we hold referees accountable. And I
You
think
sound a lot like Xavi right now, but go on.
Xavi Hernandez,
Mhm.
mm,
Advocating for referees to please come out and explain certain decision, advocating
yeah,
for transparency. Yep.
he's right. He's right. I think like my very radical and unrealistic solution is just to outsource all the referees, bring them from a different country, so that there's
Really?
because so that there's guaranteed no biases.
Okay.
But that's not possible. So the
Hmm.
other solution I would have is like after every game, we have to go through all the bad calls and good calls and show the referee this is what you missed. If you, I don't know, if you get to like X amount of negative points, like 3 strikes and you get suspended for, I don't know. Like there has to be accountability. Like we can't
I
just
agree.
be okay. It's the same as like when a player performs poorly, he gets benched. So
100%.
so let's try something. But I think there's just too much ego in admitting that there's problems in refereeing in Spanish football, and then we just blame, and then they hold those stupid ass press conferences. We're the victims. Our life is hard.
One press conference.
Okay.
There's one precedent. There was one press conference where the pressure had mounted to that much. Where no, listen, if a referee's family is involved and the kid's
No,
getting bullied at school, I don't think that is okay. And there's
that
one
I that
club and only
no,
one club that continues to weekly, twice a week, continue to bully
yeah.
referees, and that's
The,
Real Madrid. You know that.
but
So
Barca
at least
only do
admit
it in
it.
press conferences. That's it.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
dude. There's a systematic plan in place to bully referees, and that comes from Real Madrid. You agreed to that. So
I don't like the Ramjet TV videos. I don't. You already know this, but I will say that when they put out the videos, there's nothing you can really say but look at it and be like, yeah, those were all shocking calls. Why is this happening?
except that they ignore more than the other half that where they are favored. So
Fine, fine, but ultimately we all agree that the referee could be improved, right?
I,
Like we
I
all
do,
agree
I
on that.
do, I
Yeah,
do, I do, I do. But at the same time, and I think the Club World Cup was definitely very telling and should have been a point of inflection for the CTA, the refereeing committee here, and all of those involved to say, look, why do we not have any Spanish referees there? Why is it that there is such controversy, such a
yeah.
dilemma in every single match day that passes? And is that La Liga, are we a unique case, or does that happen in other leagues? And if so, how do they deal with it? Um, Clearly, things have to improve on that front. What I take issue with, and that is one of the videos that I put out this summer, is the fact that the person or the entity, the institution spearheading this change is Real Madrid, and the pressure that Florentino Perez imposes upon those committees, whether it be La Liga, the Spanish Football Federation, or the CTA themselves, because those bodies are already governed and led by renowned Madridistas. And don't call this conspiracy theory, because they are very vocal, and the track, the record speaks for itself. You can look for yourself the presidents of those associations, who they are, where their, let's say, allegiance stands with. If again, excuse me for my broken English here, but I think I'm making my point across. Why does it have to be all controlled and initiated and also, I guess, then formed eventually by Real Madrid? You mentioned the bringing referees in from abroad. That is also something that has been said by and suggested by Florentino Perez. I guess that's something that I could side with. Have Swiss referees. They're a neutral country. Have them come in and referee these games. I don't see that as something feasible. But my suspicion lies, generally with the fact that it is Florentino putting in these phone calls, and then seeing how the whole maquinaria, the whole system then eventually says, okay, we're going to get rid of the Cantalejos. We're going to get rid of that person, not that person, though. Interesting enough, that person has direct ties with Real Madrid. We're going to put in somebody else. And thank God, I don't know if you saw this hacker an absolute walking meme, for crying out loud. This Chema personality, an absolute Real Madrid hooligan, eventually not taking this job as like AI VAR, AI expert, or whatever the fuck his role was going to be, step away because of incompatibility with his current job, his current role. But still, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Mind you, all the while under Cantalejo's watch, it is still Real Madrid that have been benefited the most, right or wrong, right or wrong. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but the team that statistically has gotten the most penalties in favor, the least against, making a difference of 3 times higher than the second team in the rankings. And Barça doesn't even crack the top 5. So you'll have to, again, excuse my suspicion here and my discomfort when somebody like Florentino Perez is the one behind, the orchestrating these changes and the one implementing all of the I don't want to say new rules, but the new changes, right? The new people that are in charge of these roles. So yeah,
Diego, I've been holding my breath for however long you've been talking because I really have to piss, and I just wanted to tell you that I have to go piss, and I'll be back in 30 seconds. But while I'm gone, can you just maybe address also the fact that VAR is the guy who runs it is a Barça socio, if I'm not mistaken, and also who is the CEO of Media Pro, and isn't also the guy in charge of VAR, isn't he a direct associate of Negreira? I gotta go piss.
So what Kiyan is referring to is Jaume Rodes, actually my old boss during the time that I worked for Media Pro at LaLiga TV. And yes, of course, they are the team or the entity that provide the technology that LaLiga uses to draw the lines. VAR is something that is being provided by Media Pro. I don't know if that is still the case because Media Pro actually lost the rights to La Liga to broadcast those for this season and onward. So I don't know if it is still being provided by VAR. But the fact that Jaume Rodes, the CEO of Media Pro, is Catalan, is a Barça supporter, whether he has that power to then start manipulating the drawing lines of which the referee, the CTA, are in charge of, I think that is a little bit, too far-fetched. Can I share my screen here? If you go down the line, when you take a look at actually those people that are orchestrating in charge of Spanish football, they all have direct links with Real Madrid. Jaume Rodes being an outstander, an outlier, if you will. Here we go. But these people here, is it popping up? Hold on. Here we go. These people here, from the president of the CSD, the higher council of Spanish football, to the president of the Player Association, the president of La Liga himself, Rubiales now Lozan, to Yolanda Parga and her husband as well. Kiyan, you're back. I was referring to Jaume Rodes that, yes, indeed, the CEO and the founder of Media Pro is indeed a Barça fan. I don't know if he's a socio or not. He probably is, but let's say that he is, give the benefit of the doubt. For him to, he provides, again, the technology for VAR to put into place. But those people that are in charge of drawing the lines and applying that technology to La Liga comes down to the CTA. Can you see this here? Sorry, I see you squinting your eyes.
I can't see anything. Oh, hold on. Add to stage.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah, I can see it.
And that is undeniable. Again, this is public record. You go from an open, a renowned and publicly stated Madridista of the president of the CSD to then hear the president of the AFE, an ex-Madrid player, to Javier Tebas, to Lozan, to Yolanda
The
Parga
fact that
and her
Tebas is
husband.
even here is this whole thing is a farce, bro. Stop it.
It is not. It is not.
It
He's a Madridista, man.
I don't.
He's a
But
Madridista. He knows
he
who Papa Flo is.
hates Florentino Perez.
That doesn't matter.
You
That
want to
has
tell
nothing to
me
do with
he's
it.
been lobbied at? Yes, it does. Of course it does. He wants to screw Florentino over at every opportunity.
He would
Every
never touch
opportunity.
his beloved Madrid. I don't.
Yes,
I
it does.
genuinely disagree with that. We have never seen a Javier Tebas that has been more permissive. Again, the Mastantuono case now.
Again, I
According
haven't.
according to the rules, he shouldn't be playing against Osasuna
Can you
before having some
confirm
games
that?
under
Like,
his
is
belt.
that in writing somewhere? Because I haven't seen it. I did a quick search, mind you. Like, I wasn't actually sitting down and doing a thorough research, but I haven't seen that. But I
So
could be wrong. I admit that I could be wrong about that. I haven't seen anything about that.
so this is coming from Miguel Galan tweet talking about the administrative sports court that has reminded Real Madrid they cannot take advantage or use in favor of the first team the effects of Mastantuono's license in the reserve team. It's a long tweet. I can share it with you. But there is a case where Osasuna could appeal, or not appeal, but actually call out fraud of the law of Article 125 of the general regulations of the Spanish Football Federations that states the relationship of an affiliation or dependency may not serve as an instrument to evade the spirit of the regulatory provisions. I mean, these are big words, man. Like, it's a long ass tweet. If I'm gonna, I would rather you read this tweet and draw your own interpretations. But the conclusion is that there is a case here where Madrid shouldn't be fielding a player that they paid a hefty amount for, that is apparently signed for the B team, that will now be exclusively used for the first team. That, under the current rules, shouldn't be allowed.
I just realized there's an entire article on Managing Madrid explaining this, and I didn't realize that before this.
Who wrote it?
Maybe I should read Managing Madrid more. Mehdi Hassan.
I've shared the tweet in case anybody is interested.
Yeah, there's the Managing Madrid article references the entire Article 252. Regardless, here's my pretty safe prediction, Diego. If it's allowed, it'll happen, and if it's not allowed, it won't happen. That's pretty straightforward. So we'll find out in a couple days.
Tomorrow, no?
Fair. Yeah, tomorrow.
We'll see.
I mean, you're talking about a team that was kicked out
I
of
don't
the
know,
Copa
man.
del Rey for fielding an ineligible player, and I don't think it would. If it
Ineligible
was,
player. That's the word I was looking for.
if it happened again, it will be punished again. So that's my guess. And I'm sure
you're
Real
talking.
Madrid won't field him if they're not allowed to field him.
We'll see. I think this whole beef between Tebas and Florentino it's an act. I'm not saying that
Oh my God.
there
Jesus.
isn't like genuine. No. It's he knows that he's taking on a beast that he just cannot handle. And for those that say that Tebas is doing Barça any favors, Tebas has continuously been an absolute stick in the wheels for Barça.
I don't listen. We both agree Tebas. I mean, I don't think Tebas favors Barca either. You don't got to convince me of that. I think he's just a bad president in general. No other president in sports opens their mouth as much as this dude does.
Seriously.
Unprompted. He just goes around and criticizing the teams in his league. Like, shut up. Just shut up. All he wants is attention. And we give it to him, unfortunately. The guy is an idiot. You won't see me disagree with him. He doesn't help Barca either. So regardless, I will just say this, because you know me. I think a lot of this comes down to incompetency with referees. Every single team can bring a list of decisions that favored them and decisions that went against them. There's probably 4 or 5 times in sports history where I've doubted that, and I've actually considered corruption, and actually, admit to corruption, not just considered it. I know it's corrupted. One is the 2002 World Cup. with Korea
Mhm.
and Japan, but mostly Korea. Uh, Calciopoli, obviously.
Mhm.
The
The NBA refereeing scandals.
2001, the Lakers, right? Something like that era. Can't remember
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm, mhm.
That's 3. And I guess the fourth one, was there a fifth one? Oh, there is a fifth. The fourth one is the Negreira thing. That's still under
Mhm.
investigation. And the
Mhm.
fifth one is after Real Madrid's letter last season. The 3 games that followed it were it couldn't be more obvious that this is La Liga sending a message. Be like, you want to talk shit about us? Here you go. 9 points off of your title race. Bam, gone just like that. You know what? You know what's gonna happen? A player is going to try to break Mbappe's legs. We're gonna applaud him, and then he's gonna score the winning goal against your team. That's what's gonna happen. Those are the 5 times that I've looked at it and be like, you know what? That might be something beyond incompetency. I think that's
And you don't
something.
think Real Madrid, with all the power, being the most powerful institution in sports in Spain, potentially even Europe, have ever partaken in the corruption? Come on, Kiyan.
Until I see the evidence, no.
Oh my God, the evidence. You ignore the evidence, bro. You
I
ignore
haven't
you
seen
turn a blind eye.
all I've seen is calls that have gone towards them or the things you're bringing up now, which is a lot is saying, but until they get investigated and some shit happens, and I honestly, I know you won't believe me when I say this, but I am objective with this stuff. If it comes, the day comes that this is all comes out, Real Madrid did this and that, and it's like unassailable, then I'm not going to sit here and deny it. I won't. But those are the 5 instances that I thought there was at least some clear evidence. Whereas in these other cases, it's all like, oh, Real Madrid shouldn't have gotten this handball or whatever. And so when it comes down to that, that's not evidence to me. It's like it's similar to like everyone in the Premier League thinks that it's their team getting screwed. Arsenal, City,
My
Liverpool.
friend, my friend, stay tuned to D Spot. Everybody watching, please subscribe to D Spot. It is my mission to make this the 6th case where Kiyan is suspect, at the very least, of foul play, corruption taking place under the influence of Real Madrid. And I think it's a case that I can quite easily put together, but it will be a pleasure for me to put that one together as well.
Would love to see it, bro. Would love to see it. All right. Anything else you want to discuss before we wrap it up here?
I gotta
I
wrap it
got
up.
kids coming home soon.
Yes, I gotta bounce.
Okay. Listen, man, this was fun. And end of the week, we'll have the Real Madrid game to discuss and whatever
Yes.
else you guys throw at us. If you're a patron, go to patreon.com/churros y Tacticas. That's where the real stuff happens. That's where we answer every single question that's submitted, no matter how controversial it is. And that's where you'll get access to our end of week discussion every week this season. Patreon.com/Churros y Tacticas. Diego, what else do we want to plug here?
Churros y Tacticas Patreon. Follow us on social media as well. Give the old D Spot a follow as well. I've got a bunch of videos that I invested a whole lot of time in and resources to get that just about right, and they are criminally underviewed and underrated. So if you want to throw your favorite culé a bone, go ahead and subscribe to D Spot. That's youtube.com/D Spot, and hit the bell notification, of course, so you don't miss that much awaited and anticipated video, specially made for Kiyan and the rest of y'all Madridistas.
Awesome. Check out Diego's channel. Check out our Patreon for a lot of bonus access that you guys will have a ton of fun consuming and being part of that family. Patreon.com/Churros y Tacticas. Diego, it was a pleasure, man. Good chatting. And thanks
Always.
everyone for tuning in. Peace out.
Thank you. To the next. Bye.